Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Let's jump straight in and see what there is today. Let's start with this one. Chris Eubank Jr. It's a new pressure I've never had to deal with. I'm enjoying it. I'm not quite sure about the enjoying it part, but it is a new pressure for Chris. Look, there's always going to be pressure in every fight. But for Chris Eubank Jr., this one could be do or die. He has to win. He can't get knocked out again. If he gets knocked out again by Liam Smith, there will be retirement conversations. There will be. Considering that you couldn't knock or dent Chris Eubank Jr. before, for him to get knocked out back-to-back fights, there will be talks about retirement. Look, there always will be fights for Chris Eubank Jr. because he sells a fight well, the name value as well. But fights on this level, this magnitude, pay-per-view, sold-out arenas, I'm not quite sure. So look, it is do or die. A lot of people going into this fight think Chris Eubank's going to get it done. A lot of people. I don't know if it's because, again, he talks so well. He's so confident. It could be the Bomac thing. Obviously, a new trainer in the corner. And to be fair to Chris, I mean, if he were to win this one, it's one apiece. I think they'll go again. You look at the 160 division, and I've said this before, there aren't that many big fights. There are good fighters in the division. Alan Canali is a good fighter. Adames is a good fighter. But in terms of money fights, there isn't. So if the fight is competitive, and I think it will be, they'll go again, especially if Chris wins. Obviously, if Liam wins, then I'm not quite sure what Liam does. Maybe he looks for a title at 160 or chases maybe a Golovkin fight potentially. But yeah, for Chris Eubank Jr., he has to win. He really has to win. And I don't know if he will. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, he speaks so well, but I'm not fooled by that. I've been fooled by that in the past because he's so confident. But this comes down to boxing ability, and Liam Smith's a better boxer. I think Chris Eubank might be a better brawler, and hopefully that's what he does. Hopefully that's what Bomac has told him to start doing again, because he used to do it before. Him trying to box on the back foot and just jab, not quite sure. I think he needs to get stuck in. But he gets stuck in, could get hurt again. He gets hurt again, then I think we know that Liam Smith's a decent finisher. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Both looked amazing on the scales, as expected. Chris always looks incredible on the scales. It'll be interesting to know what both of them rehydrate to. Now that I've kind of done this weight cut thing myself and I put on nearly 15 pounds in a day, it'll be interesting to see what these guys weigh in. But I'm still going to stick with Liam Smith to get the job done. He'll have to come through some tough points because I think if Eubank's going to go out, he's going to go out on his shield. But I think Liam Smith might get this done and close this chapter. Charlo taking precautions to ensure that injured hand has no issues in Canelo fight. Next, Derek Chisora rips Daniel Dubois. He tried to make it effing cute, effing pussy. I think that's what he said here. They've bleeped the things out, or at least marked them out. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you do with Dubois next. I don't think he tried to make it cute, by the way. I think Dubois tried to rough up Usyk. Ultimately, some might say he's unlucky because of the low blow. Others will say, and I think I saw Paulie Malignaggi saying this the other day, that he quit. So look, there will be questions about what next for Daniel Dubois. I think Frank Warren's trying to make it a no contest so he can put Daniel Dubois back in a high position, maybe another mandatory position. He's not going to be successful at all in that one. So they're going to need to look at how they rebuild him mentally. Physically, this guy has the tools. His hands are quite fast. His feet were pretty decent. Very good jab. We know he likes to go to the body. Good right hand. So he's got a lot of tools to be a very good heavyweight. But the biggest tool that he might not have is the one up here. And I'm not talking about the brain. I'm just talking about the mindset of being an absolute ruthless killer in that ring when he needs to be. Maybe it just isn't there. But what I would like for them to do, and I remember saying this about Hughie Fury years ago, I was like, I have no idea where Hughie Fury is as a heavyweight because he's only lost to the very good fighters. I remember him losing to Pulev, to Joseph Parker, Povetkin, but then he's beaten the guys that are kind of ranked sort of above top 30. So where is he? Is he a top 20 guy? I have no idea, because at the time, Hughie Fury kept on losing to the top 10 guys. And that's kind of the same thing with Daniel Dubois. I have no idea where Daniel Dubois is as a heavyweight because he's lost to Joe Joyce and Oleksandr Usyk. No shame in those defeats. I know people like to talk about the ending of both fights, but no shame in terms of just the names. So they're going to need to really start to work on what the plan is with Daniel Dubois. Do we give him the old veterans, put him in the ring and risk it with the likes of Carlos Takam, who, Carlos Takam just lost a split decision to Yoka, so Carlos Takam's still very serviceable. Or do they start building him against guys in and around him as a top 20 heavyweight coming up? I'm not quite sure what they do. There are so many good heavyweight fights out there for him, but they've got to be, you can't damage him. He's only 25. You've got to, I think, build him slowly. Don't give him bums. No disrespect to the Kevin Arenas of the world, but there's no point in those fights. Give him good, solid guys, but almost take it easy with him, because I think he's fragile, like very fragile. And I think we've seen now in 2 fights, when the going gets tough, when it starts to not become comfortable, some fighters thrive and dig deep and really find their reserves. Maybe Dubois doesn't do that. So yeah, look, but I have watched that fight back, and I thought he'd done some good stuff. I think he looked razor sharp for a few rounds, but then it just all seemed to kind of unfold very quickly. Like it almost collapsed very, very quickly. Like, what's happening here? Remember the knockdowns? I was like, is he okay? Is he going to get up? He should get up. I mean, didn't look like he was hurt, but then I'm not quite sure. Let me have a quick look. Let's quickly go to BoxRec very quickly. Like some interesting fights for Dubois. Like his next 2. Let's look at what I think could be his next 2 fights. So we'll pick one veteran, and we'll go for one risky, but ultimately, if you want to be a top heavyweight, you've got to have these risky fights. My one veteran fight would be Charles Martin. It's a risky one, but I think we saw that Charles Martin's still very good, right? I mean, I say very good, but he's a solid heavyweight, caused Jared Anderson some problems. If they really think Dubois is going to be that guy, like the way the Americans think Anderson's going to be that guy, Dubois should beat Charles Martin. So I'd go Charles Martin. This is not in any order, by the way. And in terms of a risky one, I mean, there's some risky ones here, boy. So you've got the veterans. You've got the veterans like, how good is Pulev? Is Pulev still that guy? Obviously you completely swerved the idea of a Frank Sanchez. So you got the veterans in Takam and Charles Martin, and then you have got the Yokas of the world. I wouldn't put him in with F.A. Jagba. I'm not high on F.A. Jagba. I wouldn't put him in with him. Agit Kabayel, the European champion. Would you put him with Jermaine Franklin? I wouldn't. I would definitely go, like 100%, I would go Charles Martin first, see where he is with Charles Martin, and then you make a decision about whether or not you put him in with a Tony Yoka or a Martin Bakole. It's risky, but this is boxing, right? This is boxing. Jamel Charlo will beat Canelo Alvarez, says their only common opponent, Austin Trout. I don't know. I don't think he will. I think Jamel Charlo, I think Canelo Alvarez's experience is a bit too much at the very highest level. And I know everyone says Jamel Charlo walks around higher and bigger than Canelo, but there's a reason he boils himself down to 154. Carrying an extra weight at 168, it's an extra 14 pounds, It's a lot, especially for someone like Charlo that likes to move a lot. I mean, you maybe don't feel it in the early rounds, but the way in which Canelo is always on the front foot putting pressure on you, you'll start to feel it. Has he got fast enough hands? Has he got the power to hurt Canelo? Yes. Has Canelo got the power to sleep Charlo? Absolutely, whether it be to the body or the head. So I'm going Canelo. I think Canelo will beat him. I think it's going to be a fantastic card, but I think Canelo gets the job done. 2 seconds. What else have we got here? De La Hoya on Ryan Garcia. We have a date for him in November. 140-pound belt can possibly be at stake. Okay, interesting. It shouldn't be. Was he done at 140 to? Was he done at 140 to even warrant fighting for a world title at one? Sorry, what's he done at? Well, yeah. What did he do at 135 to warrant fighting for a title at 140? What's he done at 140 to even deserve to be in title contention? This is when it's just names, isn't it? Your name gets you in there. But no, I just want to see him fight again. It'd be good to see him get out this year, as it would be to see Gervonta Davis get out this year. It shouldn't just be a case of we had one massive fight and that's it for the year. Let's keep going. Remember, Ryan Garcia hadn't fought for a while. I did Ryan Garcia's last fight prior to the Gervonta fight, and that was a year ago. So he needs to stay busy. Needs to stay very busy. Billy Joe Saunders' ring return discussed for December, says Hearn. What weight class will it be at? At 175, he's still good, isn't he, Billy Joe Saunders? Clearly can't make 168 anymore. Haven't seen the size of him. But 175, with the guys over here domestically, there's some fights to be made. I mean, if he can prove himself to be above that, then obviously there's some very, very good fights worldwide. But we'll wait and see. I mean, this guy's not fought since Canelo. I mean, surely ring rust is a problem here. By the way, did you see that there was no VADA for Eubank versus Liam Smith, which I thought was interesting? Like, why isn't there VADA testing for this fight? Joe McNally, who trains Liam Smith, says he's not seen any VADA. And I think there was talks of VADA, or at least we thought there was, because we did see Chris Eubank Jr. posted a picture of drug testers at his house, and I think he tagged Baumgardner, Dillian White, and Conor Benn. So yeah, interesting that with all that's what's been going on, you know, fighters being caught, like you would want like VADA testing, and I guess that's the gold standard, right? Should be in all the big fights. I know it costs a lot of money. I think I read somewhere like 30 to 40,000 per fighter, but both are making millions. I mean, put some aside for VADA testing, surely. But no, it doesn't seem that there is any, which is a bit disappointing. You know what also was disappointing for me? Dave Allen's physique against Fraser Clark. I saw the weigh-in, and look, heavyweights, right? You can come in all sorts of shape, but his belly was over his shorts. I'm like, have you been training? Like, have you really ticked every box that you can tick? Like, it's a big fight for Dave Allen, right? He's coming back. It's a fight on a pay-per-view card. He's fighting a very good prospect in Fraser Clark. You beat him. There's big fights out there. Have you ticked every single box you can tick? Because for me, you being in that shape and me seeing, and look, by the way, look, the best heavyweight on the planet's not in fantastic shape himself, but I've seen Dave Allen in shape. So I'm like, are you ticking every single box to be the best version of yourself to beat Fraser Clark? Or you just said, okay, let's just take this fight? But I thought it was a bit disappointing. And seeing his shape, I think Fraser Clark sort of ices him now in 3 or 4 rounds. I really do. I think he destroys him. I think he'll come out firing for a couple of rounds and then he'll get beat. All right, guys, girls, I'm back to the UK on Tuesday. I'm actually back Monday, but we won't film until Tuesday. And I'll let you guys know about the 50,000 subscriber giveaway that I'm going to do, whether it be money or a gift or whatever it is. But we'll let you know in the week. We might do more videos, because why not? We'll do a video reaction to the Eubank Smith fight. We won't do a live watch along. I am here for a break, and I probably do need a bit of a break, but we'll get stuff done. All right, peace.